Welcome to the Big Questions podcast. This is your host, Gideon Wood, here with my daddy to ask big questions.
Hello, hello. All right, so what kind of questions you want to explore today?
I have a really big one today. What are ethics?
What are ethics? Why are you asking it? Are you trying to understand a specific ethical question, or are you just interested in defining what that means?
Yes, I'm interested in defining what that means.
Just for fun to put it into a box or to do something with it?
To put into a box, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can put it in a box. Often I ask that just because often we get in this, we like to play the what is game and we just say what things are, but unless it fits into some kind of question or context or problem or situation, then we're just saying words and it doesn't really do anything for us. So, was there a context in which you met this word?
Well, I read it in the the introduction to philosophy.
Okay, and what were they exploring there?
They were exploring ethics.
Okay, anything specific?
Well, for examples, one philosopher thought that ethics were straight, like no lying, even if it is to stop murder. Another one I read about was a consequentialist.
Consequentialism. It's
Yeah,
a type of
and
ethicist.
um, he thought that you should calculate the consequences, and the consequences determine if it's bad or good. What do you think ethics are, Dad?
So, okay, I kind of see what you're exploring here. There's a few philosophers. We can go back to ancient Greece, but more around the scientific revolution and the industrial revolution. There were some philosophers, and they started exploring these ethical questions and wondering how do we measure things. So, like, are we measuring happiness when it comes to ethics? How do we measure something like that? And with the consequentialists, they're looking at, okay, well, you know how we've done some of the train problems?
Yeah.
Do you want to recount one of them right now?
Um, if there's um three people on a train track and they're down on a cliff and there's a big and they're about to be run over by a train and there's a big man you can push off the cliff to stop the train.
But yeah, let's back up one. So let's say we're up on top of a cliff, okay? And down below us we see a train track and we notice a train is coming, and where it's headed, we notice there are 3 people tied to the tracks. So the train, if it continues on its course, it's going to run over those 3 people. Now, at the top of where we're sitting, at the top of the cliff, there's this lever that we can pull. And if we pull it, it diverts the train to go on another track. But we see on this track There's one person tied up rather than three. What do? Do you pull the lever, or do you let the train continue on its path?
You pull the lever.
That's your instinct.
Yes.
So a consequentialist would agree. The consequences of not pulling the lever lead to 3 deaths rather than 1. So my view with ethics is essentially everything is consequential in some way. We're looking at our actions in terms of the consequences they bring.
So are
Now,
you a consequentialist of some sort?
so consequentialism came under attack because people were starting to argue that it's a little bit too dry and it's not considering the full picture. So then we have this other class of ethics called deontology. And that includes things like our values and uh, what a particular human might feel by performing or omitting some action. So let's change our thought experiment here. Let's say you're a doctor and you are at your office, you're a surgeon, and you have 3 people that need transplants or else they die. Let's say a heart, a liver, and a kidney transplant. And if they don't get those in the next few hours, they're dead. Okay? And now you notice, oh, hey, there's someone in the waiting room that has a good liver, a good kidney, and what was our other?
A good heart?
Heart. So, what it seems from the consequentialist point of view, well, the answer's easy. We save 3 lives and we, just harvest that person's organs. Are your intuitions the same as the train problem?
No.
No. Yeah, so the line between deontology and consequentialism, it's not as important as I think people make it out to be because we're still talking about consequences here. So, like in this second scenario, do you want to live in a world where you can go to your doctor's office and they can all of a sudden harvest your organs to save people's lives? Like that would not be a pleasant world for me to live in.
No, it wouldn't.
So yeah, we have to take into consideration our fear, uh, yeah, and just other values and other personal human experiences into account. So yeah, like another problem we did, which you brought up, was the same train problem, but now instead of pulling the lever to save the 3 people, there's a really big guy. And if we pushed him in front of the train tracks, he would stop the train and save the other 3, but it would kill the big guy.
Mm.
What's your instinct there?
I don't know.
Yeah, these get tricky.
I feel like that's somewhere between the surgeon and the lever. Like, I feel like there's the surgeon, which, and then there's the lever, then in the middle, there's this scenario, and it's really hard to solve.
Yeah, yeah. So ethics are tough. I think ethics require the Ionian tradition, which we talked about in the first one. Do you want to briefly remind listeners what that is from the Greeks?
It's a tradition that usually makes and consults theories.
So we start from a place of humility, right? We say, hey, I'm just a kid in this cosmic sandbox without a clue. I don't know much of anything. But if there's some problem, I can take a stab at it. I can guess. I can try. So if we have an ethical situation in front of us, we say, hey, listen, I don't know the right answer here, but here's the best solution I have. And then once we put forward a solution, a creative idea, then what's the next step?
Um, we consult that idea.
Or criticize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, criticize it, try to beat it up and see if it has any holes in it or illogical consequences or yeah. So ethics can be applied to, say, attorneys. They need a code of ethics to help them work with their clients most appropriately in a way that doesn't take advantage of the clients and in a way that the clients don't take advantage of the attorney. Medical professionals also need a code of ethics. And so, yeah, ethics in general are kind of the study of how we conduct ourselves in particular fields or situations. Is there any questions in anything we've talked about so far that you want to maybe hover around for a minute, or any other questions you want to ask?
Another question I have is, what's the thing that makes ethics important?
Oh, I'll put that question to you, my dear.
uh,
Why do you think they're important? Do we want doctors harvesting our organs?
no.
Okay, so what are ethics? Why do we have them? Why do we explore them? Why do we?
To make it a better world for everyone.
Yeah, to help us live in harmony together,
Mm.
cooperate, coordinate, live just and fair lives. What do you think?
I think so. And mm, even if, say, somebody was selfish, I feel like ethics would still help them build a better world for themselves too. Ethics can help yourselves and others because, like, without ethics, we'd live in a place of war. It would be bad for everybody, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, ethics protect not only others, but also ourselves from some of our darker sides. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Well, what do you want to leave the listeners with?
Have a good day.
Thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Yeah.